In today's episodes, we are going to check the difference between cookies and local storage, how we can preserve the site from cross-site scripting, for example, how we can make our application more secure. I will just show you inside the application that we are using in the Node.js. First of all, the disclaimer is that cookies are on the server side and local storage is not in the server side, but in the client side. So inside, for example, front end, that's the main difference. And what we should do, what we should use whenever we creating our backend application, the authentication using cookies. Of course, we will also right now use not only cookies, but also JSON Web Token. So I will show you how we can achieve the good way. So I mean using the cookies. First of all, we need to initialize our application in the Node.js. Then I created some login.js inside which we got some very simple login form. And using that, we are going to need npm install Express to fire up our Express project, JSON Web Token, EJS, and cookie parser. We are going to save it because that's what we need. Next thing we need to index.js is our main index that we are going to fire up our application. Of course, we need const express equals require express, then const JWT require JSON Web Token, then const cookie parser equal require the cookie parser part. So we are using 3 of them. Whenever we need cookie parser to parse our cookie, so that's server-side authentication system that we are going to use, and we are going to use JWT to secure our storage. For example, we'll some kind of crypt our, in that case, we gonna crypt our username to make it harder for any other to guess. In the all application, we are going, for example, inside the JWT that we're gonna send to our front-end application, some user ID or some kind of identification that we are going to identify the user, but it's not the same with the authentication that should stick inside the backend plan because of the vulnerables that I'm going to tell you at the end of that video. So const app equals express. Then we need to have that set because we just get our JSON EJS. So we need to set view engine to let us view that EJS. Have that use express that URL encoded, and here extended true. That's normal part, and also we are going to use the cookie parser. That's the part that we need to, of course, method we need to use to parse our cookies. Have that listen for port 3000 and console.log. Server is running. Okay, that's normal part that we are using in every time. Okay, so as I mentioned before, we are going to store the cookie inside the JWT. But what's the JSON Web Token? I will just show briefly what is it. It's the middleware that help us to secure our, for example, string to not be able to decode something. In our case, you see, you will just get some kind of token like that, and you can decode it whenever you got your secret key. You can just check the secret key if you don't know your secret key, you just get that encoded value. You'll be able to just see what's in the header, for example, what's in the data. You can store there whatever you would like to have. So that's the JWT. So right now, I will show you the route using the login. So example, for app that post, we are going to get the login route. And here we are going to request and response. Of course, we'll just create the token. And to do that, we are going to JWT, that sign. And here we need some arguments. First of all, is the first argument, so the payload string that we are going to change. So the thing that we are going to preserve that will after the decoded version show to us as the final version. So in that case, we'll just decode user, and it will be request.body, that's username. Okay, of course, the next thing is secret or private key. So there we'll need some kind of secret key. You can just write down whatever you would like to. I just press the keyboard for that time. It should be quite complicated. That will stick and save your JWT that you will also only know. Of course, in the real application, you should just create .env. So first of all, you should npm install .env. And here you should store your .env file, which will contain some vulnerables. Whenever you just send it to, for example, production, there are a lot of ways that you can also stick that private to that strings. And whenever we've got our token created, we need response, that cookie. So we'll just go now to send response, and that the response will be the cookie. We'll call it of cookie, of token, sorry, because it's of token. We are going to send our token, and here we are going to provide some options. First is very important, so I just create the HTTP only and set it to true. This is a tag that is added to browser cookie, and it prevents client-side scripts from accessing our data. So you should always stick with that HTTP only, of course, to secure your application. And the max age you've got over there. So in the milliseconds, how long our cookie should last in milliseconds to expire. After that time, that cookie will automatically, for example, expire. I will just create some random number, and with that, we can, for example, raise that send token. We'll just send the token to the web browser, or we'll just console.log token, and then raise that send. After we've got our post, we should, of course, get the login form that we are going to operate on. So request response, and here is that render, and we are gonna render the login. We don't parse anything here. So we start our application node index.js. Wait a second, let me fire up my localhost /login, and here we got the localhost /login, which we are going to use some kind of username. For example, we can get the login and password over here. We set login, it's okay. And here we've got our res.send, because we should make a res.send status instead of that. But whenever we are going to get to our website, go to the application, and we are going to expand it. You've got our auth token that later on we can get from request from example .get. So I will just show you briefly. Get, for example, main application, and it will be request and response. We'll just get cast cookie equals request that cookies, and inside that cookies we are going to console.log cookie, and later on we're going to send status, for example 200 as well. Okay, we've got it. We should to recreate our application, then going back there, re-logging it. So we've got our auth token. We'll just create some kind of new one, recreate it. We've got our auth token, and whenever we are going to our main application, you see our cookie are available from there, and you can reverse it. So we can just get from the token our username that can be recreated from the JWT. And to verify if that's using that JWT, we should just create JWT.verify, for example, verify. And here we are going to provide the request.cookie.auth token that is over there. And with that token, we gonna to preserve our string that I will just gonna simply copy and paste. And we should just cast token equals JSON.verify console.log and token over there. Then I'm gonna reload my application. Whenever we are going back to our application, so where is it? Where are you? Over here. We should go to main page. Okay, I just make a typo because we've got cookie. Let's request that cookie. We run that application, server is running, and as you can see, my application is running, and the user is new one that we've created in the seconds before. So with that, you'll see how you can create the Express using cookies. Whenever you are going to use, you prefer to use localhost, which is highly not recommended to secure your application, you simply inside that login that post just delete that one and res that, for example, JSON or res that send, and you just simply send the token as the response, and then your application start to be able to be more vulnerable to that XSS attacks. So I mean is cross-site scripting. But the bad part of that is that cookie is quite a little bit more vulnerable to CSRF attacks. That's why we combine the two of them. So CSRF to protect from that, and cookies to protect from cross-site scripting. And that will be all for that episode. So you should, whenever you created your index, you created your Express application, you should stick with the cookies as an auth part inside your app. So see you in the next episode.